This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. Very good morning to all. So in this session, we need to talk about an important concept called JSON. So once this JSON completed, we will talk about Ajax as well, right? So within this week, I think we can complete this Ajax and JSON by this Saturday or Sunday. And from Monday onwards, okay, let me plan the bootstrap. Okay, so if we can complete this bootstrap also a week, I think it will be easy. Bootstrap STRA or else jQuery. Sorry, right? Anyone we can plan it, no problem. So jQuery, anyone. So first of all, let me finish this. Then we will decide what we need to discuss next. Okay. So first we will talk about JSON. I want to tell you one straightforward point here. Whoever you are, whatever the development you guys are learning, right? Every developer, the developer may be a front-end developer, he may be a back-end developer. Every developer needs to know about the JSON, right? It's very, very important. And every developer, you may be a front-end, you may be a back-end developer, without knowing JSON, we can't do anything. JSON really will play a vital role in our application development, guys. Here, simply, I want to tell you one point. What is the purpose of JSON here? So actually, I'm Telugu. You guys are from different languages. I know that some of you are in different languages. So you don't know Telugu. I know Telugu. You know Hindi. Okay, this is actually the problem with us. Now, can you please tell me how we need to communicate together? If I say the if I discuss the session in Telugu, you can understand. If you can speak something in Hindi, I cannot understand. Definitely, you and me needs to use a mediator, right? Because we cannot understand Telugu, I cannot understand Hindi. So there should be some mediator. What is that mediator? The mediator is nothing but our language, global language, right? English is the mediator between you and me. If you can say anything in English, I can understand. If I say anything in English, you can understand. That's why we are using the link language called English, right? Okay. In the same manner, I want to talk about one thing. For example, there is a programming language called Java. Okay, there is a programming language called Java. Here, Java wants to communicate with the .NET. Okay, this is a programming language, or .NET or PHP, anything. So as a human being, Telugu, Hindi, we are using English. These are the programming languages. I have Java programming, I have .NET programming language, and their syntaxes are not same, definitely. Java programming syntax may be different, .NET programming syntax may be completely different. How these two will communicate together here? If I can simply say, these people will use a global format called JSON. If .NET wants to communicate with Java or Java wants to communicate with .NET, whatever the data we have in the Java, that data we cannot directly send to the .NET. It is not possible. Whatever the data the .NET is having, the data we cannot send it to Java directly. We cannot send the data to Java directly. We cannot. Then how we can send the data? But we can send the data from one technology to another technology. This communication is possible, but the data should be transferred between the technologies in a readable format. If you are sending something in unreadable format, who can understand that? No one will understand. Remember carefully, I don't know how many programming languages we have. Any programming language wants to communicate with any other programming language, the data first should be converted into JSON format. Once this is converted into JSON format, then only we can transfer the data from one programming language, other programming language. For example, I'm telling you here, Java having 10 users. Java object, remember carefully, Java object contain 10 users, right? That object contain 10 users. Remember, Java object structure different as well as .NET object structure is different. Now, this is the first point. If Java wants to send this 10 users list to .NET, then what Java needs to do immediately, whatever the object we have, the object should converted converted into JSON format. Okay, now JSON format. Once that object, a 10 users object is converted into JSON format, now this object, after converting this into JSON, we can send this to any of the programming language. The same object, JSON object, we can send to Java, we can send to .NET or Python or PHP or Android or iOS or anything, guys. Here, I mean, the format is that much important. Okay, na? Right. I think you guys have a little bit idea what is an object. We know an object is a collection of properties and methods that we already know what exactly an object is, right? Where obj equal to, this is the way of creating object. We have to use the curly bracket. In the curly bracket, try to see, we have object like this now. First name, I'm going to take something called rom. I'm taking something called last name as a key, so you can take something called like this, and you are taking the key city, and you are taking the value as something called HYD or something like this. Is called object, and we know very well what this is called exactly. This is called an object. Now you can see, guys, here where user, I'm taking one more equal to, try to see, this is very very important. Try to see, guys, here the C, FIRST, first name wrong. Try to see, observe this format carefully. What is the format I am writing? What is the format you are observing? Last name, this is going to be something like this. Can you see the format you observed? What is the format you observed? Please tell me now. So actually this we can keep into a string. Actually I'm keeping into single quote. Can you see the difference here? You know, this is an object, Andy. This is a string, Andy. What type of string this is? But this string is in the some different format. A key value, key value, key value. Every value pair separated with the comma, right? It was like this now. Can you see the difference here? What is the difference between these two? You know, guys, here this is an object. Object key doesn't have quotes, but can you see here both the key and value pairs are having in double quotes. JSON format is denoted in double quotes always. Don't use single quotes here, right? So the JSON validators, if you can write in single quote, it may not valid. But this in the curly bracket, whatever you are keeping, can you see everything was in double quote now? But this look like an object actually. Now let me do one thing. What I want to do, let me copy these two. I'm going to create a new file. Let me save the file with the script. I'm saving the file, script to open, script close. You can use anyone, no problem. Right now I'm saving the file. Here, let me save this json.html. File name could be anything, guys, right? Now you can check this file is created. This is an thing. Now we know if you can log this console.log of type of, I'm using the type of keyword, type of obj, and you can go for a type of user also. Just if you can go for user, and if you can go for obj, just you can observe this. Can you see, guys, here? Now I'm just going to run this file. By running this file, can you see what is my output of the program? Can you see in the console, you are getting the type of is going to be, first one is object, second one is going to be the string. But remember, this is called JSON string. What is this is called? This is called JSON string format. This is exactly JSON string format that is. And this is a JavaScript object. What is the difference you observed between the JavaScript object and a JSON string? Look like same, but the only thing, everything will be into wrapped like this. It should be either in single quote or double quote, but definitely every key and value pair should be kept into either single quote or single quote only. Sorry, double quote, double quote. Don't use single quote here, but this is a string, right? That's why I used a single quote. Outside is okay, don't bother about this, but whatever the things you are able to see, and you can take the value like this, okay now, right? If it is a number, we can take directly, no problem. Now you can see, now I'm going to take this as a pin code. Pin code is a key. Here the value, I'm directly taking this as a 532, something like this. We don't want to keep anything for the number, but every key should be some valid and reasonable value, and it is a number, and we don't want to keep anything, does not require. Simply that is all about the valid thing, okay, right? This is the thing you're having right now. If we can refresh, both are the strings only, right? Like this, guys, try to see. Remember, whenever there is some data, so this is an object now. JavaScript knows object. If you want to send this object to .NET programming or any other PHP programming or Android iOS, can we send this object directly to Java.NET? Is it possible? No. Even if we can send this data to Java.NET, they cannot understand this syntax. This is the syntax which can understand by JavaScript only, not by Java.NET PHP. Their syntaxes may be different, right? So, and this is the format everybody can understand. If you can send this format, any programming language, whatever the programming language, right, it could be, right? Okay, so now you can take anything in the value, no problem. The value may be an object, the value may be an array, right? Anything value, see, it's an object format now. In the object, we taken something like this, right? Here key could be anything. For example, now I'm taking this as an address colon. Here you can take again an object, you can take an array again, whatever you want. Here also in the JSON string also we can take array of arrays also. I will show you an example. Wait for some time. Sometimes the JSON may be contain array of objects, array of values, the JSON also, everything. So whatever you can do with the object, the same I can do with the JSON also. What type of data you want to send, everything we can send. I'm taking just a plain object. Wait for some time. I will take some complex JSON also, so that we will get some clarity what exactly, or else I will show you some JSON here right now. Okay, let me go to the JSON. Can you see the JSON? Wait for some time. It is getting loaded. Yeah, this is the JSON. How can we understand this JSON format? Can you see? Just you can understand. Everything is a key and value. No? This is a key and this is a value. And every key and value is with the double quote. No? Everything value is in double quote and the key is also in double quote. Right? This may be array of objects also that we will see. Wait for some time. But this is too big, right? But if we can see the data like this, how can we understand this JSON format, sir? This big JSON, how we can understand? I will show you. There are the very simple tools are there for encrypting, for the understanding, for detailed JSON, to display the detailed JSON. We can easily understand. Don't worry about it. I will show you the link to you to understand about this JSON. JSON is a combination of many things, guys. Here, right? It is going to contain the value of the thing, may be an object or array or a string or anything. You can take it, no problem. Okay. Now this is the JSON. Now the thing is, guys, here, right? All of you try to see. You have this data with you, right? You want to send this to Java people, right? I have an object. This object you have to send to Java people. Can anybody please tell me how can I send this? Can I send this data directly? So 532, the same object. So if can I send this data to server directly? Is it possible? This is the JavaScript object, which is understood by JavaScript only, not by server. If you want to send this object, for example, let us assume, guys, you have a form. In the form, you entered some data, you collected all the data, you prepared the data with an object, JavaScript object. Now this data should be posted to server. So how we can post this data to server? Can we send the data to server directly? And we know this is an object. We know, and how can we access the object values? Very well. If you want to access the object values in JavaScript, we can access. This is the way of accessing the obj.firstname and obj.lastname. So this is completely related to JavaScript. See, you're able to access the ROM. This is the way of accessing the values in JavaScript. Can I send the same to Java? And can the Java people can access the data like this? It is not valid in Java. It is going to give you an error, definitely. But you should transfer the data to Java in JSON format. How can we convert the JavaScript object into JSON? Now you can see the question, guys, here, right? This is very important. So how to convert the JavaScript object into JSON, Andy. This is very important. Try to see. The question is going to be how to convert the JavaScript object. What are you able to see here? You are able to see the JSON JavaScript object actually. What is the type of it? Just now we written console.log type of. By writing this type of keyword, we can easily understand what type of data this is, right? If you can refresh the page, you are getting this as an object now. Yes, you are getting this as an object. Type of is an object. But we cannot send the objects directly. Now, the question, how to convert the JavaScript object into JSON, guys? Now you can see. So there is a method JSON object. The method is going to be string. Oh, just one minute. JSON.stringify is the method, guys. By using the following method, we can convert the JavaScript object into JSON. Stringify is the method. Okay, no? Right. So JSON capital letter, JSON should be in capital letter. In that JSON object, we have a method called stringify method. Now you can see, now I am going to where JSON data is equal to, I'm converting it now. That's why I'm taking this into variable JSON dot stringify, stringify. I'm taking the data like this. In this, you can just pass the obj. That's all. Now, can we see this J data? If you can print this J data, try to understand how the data will be there. Okay, now refresh the page. If you can refresh, what are you getting? Are you able to see my JSON data here in the console? I think you are able to see. Can you see the format? Can you see the first name is was in double quote now? Can you see here? It is my first name actually, but after applying the stringify method, the data, the JavaScript object is completely converted into JSON format. Can you see? This is now completely in the JSON format. Last name and city and every key is set with the double quotes now. Value is not required, but key is set with the double quote by default, right? Even if you want to check this, what type of data this is, if you want to check, that is a string data. Why? Because JSON is always a string format. JSON is always available in a string format, right? That's the reason we are getting the thing like this. Now, once the data is converted into JSON format, now you can send this data to server. You can send the data to server. This is J data variable, not obj variable. You cannot send the obj variable to server. You have to send the J data variable to server. Why? Because this is converted into a string format. Do you know what these people do in the server? So you are sending the data to server, right? In what way you are sending? I'm sending the data in the JSON format now. You are sending the data in a string format to the server. What server will do, guys, here, remember, every server has a predefined library to get the JSON data, to read the JSON data, which is posted by some other technologies, for example. So JavaScript is sending, right, JSON data to PHP. In PHP, they have to collect the data. No? right? They have to collect the data, right? Remember carefully, we are getting JSON data to PHP. In PHP, what these people needs to do, guys, here, they have to collect the JSON. Remember carefully, I'm telling the server steps. They have to collect the JSON. JavaScript converting the data. Actually, we have JavaScript object here. This JavaScript object is converted into JSON. The JSON was sent to PHP. What PHP people are doing? PHP people are collecting the data, collecting the JSON. After that, they will convert that JSON, whatever the JSON you are sending to server, convert the JSON into PHP object format and the PHP object format that will be converted. If it is a Java object format. Again, there are some predefined methods. See, so in PHP, I have a method called JSON underscore decode is a method. There is a method called decode. Whatever the J data we are passing from the HTML, JavaScript, that data will be collected here. We are collecting the data which is sent by the JavaScript. And often I'm passing to JSON decode is a predefined method available in PHP. Whatever the data you sent to this, if I pass to this data to following method, this will convert the data into JavaScript, sorry, PHP object. So if it is a PHP object that we can easily access. Yes or not, right? Yes, this is very, very important. Keep it in mind. So whenever you are having some data, you want to send the data to server, it should be converted into JSON format. Then only things will be easily understandable. Okay, now this scenario is completed. Okay, you have data, you want to send, you are converting the data into JSON format, you send, they collected, and they do the remaining job. Actually, what your responsibility is just sending the data to server only. That's all. How they are decoding, how they are encoding, it's not our responsibility. Just I'm telling you the process. So whatever the JSON data we are having, we send to server. Again, server people, they will use their own predefined library to convert the data into the following format, guys. This is very important. Check this. Okay, now, right. Okay, now situation. Right now the situation is, guys, like this. Okay, remember carefully. This situation is completed. Now remember, PHP having 10 users object, 10 users object, PHP. Oh, remember guys, this is very important. PHP having 10 users object. This object PHP wants to transfer to JavaScript, wants to transfer to JavaScript. In JavaScript, what we need to do? Can we get the PHP object? JavaScript syntax and PHP syntax both are same, huh? No. Then what these people needs to do now, guys, here, these people needs to convert the 10 users into JSON format again. Anybody wants to send the data to any programming language, first of all, the data should be converted into JSON, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to send, right? So the PHP object should be converted into JSON format. After converting the JSON format, PHP will send the data to JavaScript. It is sending the data to JavaScript. In JavaScript, you have to collect it now. Let us assume this is the data you got from PHP. Let us assume. What is the data? This is JSON data. Na? This is the data you got from the thing. Let us assume this is from PHP. So if it is in a JSON string, can we access it? Now you can see console.log. I'm able to print it. User. Okay, I'm printing the user. Okay, you are able to see the user data na? JSON format na? Now one question for me. Can I write user dot first name? It is going to give you invalid thing, undefined. You cannot get the things like this because it is a string format na. How can you access the string format like this as like an object? You cannot access it because there is a completely a string there you are able to see. In this point of time, can you please tell me what I need to do, guys, here exactly? So the question now you can see how to convert the data into something we seen, right? Now the next question, how to convert JSON data, JSON data into JavaScript object and so if it is a JavaScript object, then only we can access it. Otherwise, we cannot do vice versa for the above question. So how to convert the JavaScript object into JSON we see. Now you are getting JSON data into JavaScript. That JSON data, if you want to access or if you want to print, first of all, that should be converted into an object. So the method is going to be JSON dot parse is the method. Okay, so anybody sending to you right now, you can see this is the data I have. I already printed earlier console.log of user, right? Refresh the page. You are able to see the JSON data now. See, now I'm going to convert this into JSON.pairs, JSON.pars, pairs of user. I'm converting this into user. Now you can check this. Oh, sorry, you have to take this into a variable again, where converted data, I'm taking a variable like this, c data. Let me come there. I'm going to print the c data. You can refresh the page. Can you see this format is changed now into an object? Earlier it was not like this, remember carefully. It's not look like an object earlier. You can see the format before converting. I want to print this console.log of user. Before converting this, I'm just printing the message. Now you can see this is the string format before, and after converting into JavaScript object, now you are able to see now if the data was like this, we can easily access now you can see c data dot first name, we can access it, and c data dot last name, we can access it. It's very easy to access now you can check this. We are able to access rom and baburi, something like this, the values we are able to access. But if the data was like this, we cannot do anything, right? Anything, anybody who is sending data to JavaScript, you should convert into object. If you want to send the data to somebody, you have to convert it into JSON format. Why? Because JSON is the link language between the programming languages. Okay, now right, this is always you need to check it. For example, this is the JSON string, and I have the JSON string. I want to send this JSON string to some server or .NET. We can use so many third-party services, guys, here, no problem, right? But here, let us see. Sometimes we take in like this, na? JSON format, sometimes it may be complex also. Complex in the sense, we take in plain JSON, guys, here, very plain JSON. Now you can see, sometimes the JSON may be like this, where users equal to, I'm taking single quote. Here you can take the square bracket. What is the square bracket represents? It's an array now. In this square bracket, we can take object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4, like this. We can take multiple. In this everyone, I'm going to take this as a first name, last name, something like this. Can you see? This is the first object I'm taking like this. Every object may be like this. Can you see? Right now, the second object you want to take it. Yeah, second object I take it. Now you can take the third object. You can take the fourth object. Like this, we can prepare complex data also, guys, here. Now we taken all the static, the same data. We are not taking some different data. Okay, we taken something called like this. This is the JSON data completely, right? So the JSON data you have to again. So now can you see console.log of users? What you will see, you cannot see anything. You can see completely as a string format only. You can see. Now you can see I'm writing this whole into JSON.pairs. Directly I'm writing here JSON.pairs. Inside of it, you can pass users. Now you can see everything is converted into JavaScript array. Array contain 4 objects. Can you see each and every object? So it should be like this, guys. Now we are just seeing some JSON format. Now this is a very big JSON. How we can understand this JSON format? Right, you have to check this JSON format, right? Do one thing, control all, I'm copying the code. I have a small tool, guys, for debugging the JSON. This is the link, JSON viewer stack hu. I'm keeping the complete JSON into the text format. Can you see the tab is titled for text? Okay, this is the complete JSON I pasted here. If you can click viewer, can you see the JSON is going to be expanded like this? Can you see? Now the everything you can easily understand now. This is an object, again it contains an object, again snippets. Now you can see I'm expanding snippet 1. Oh, again sub objects are there. Now we can see how we can easily understand the nodes of the JSON. So we can easily understand the nodes of the JSON. That is the overall JSON. You are able to see this much of big JSON, right? To understand this type of big JSON, so we can use some third-party tools, and we can easily understand what type of data that is also we can easily understand, guys, right? This is exactly some concept is there here. You can check this, some fields are there, something like this, right? I think you got some clarity what exactly this is, guys. Here the JSON is, sometimes in the real time you may get a very big huge JSON also like this. This is a very big JSON. Based on the JSON, we have to plot all the information. Can you see with the JSON what I am doing? Do you know, guys? Here, this is the JSON, right? This is right now I am working with this JSON. You want to see, 1 minute, I will show you what we are doing with this JSON. 1 minute, don't worry, I just want to show you. Let us start my server so that you can understand what this JSON will do. With this JSON, what type of thing we are doing. Actually, this JSON will come from .NET for me. There is a .NET. What I will do, I will send a request to .NET server. They will send me the following JSON. Every time I cannot get the same JSON. Sometimes the JSON may be the same, sometimes the JSON may be different. Definitely, it is not going to give the same JSON every time. Whatever the JSON I am going to get here, the JSON, based on the JSON, I have to display the data on the screen. So you can see what this is going to do exactly. Is it running? If it is runs, I think you will get the things very clear. It is getting started running. Wait for some time. Let me go and let me run this. Here, I'm just going to, I'm sharing you this JSON pretty URL. Just keep this forever. I think somewhere around. I think it will be helpful to you. Here, let me run my local host for the 3000. Still it is running, the yes, server is still running. With the following JSON, you are able to see the JSON. With this JSON, what we are doing in the front end. Right now it is running. Can you see, guys, here? Oh my god, it is giving me this. Right, 1 minute. So actually I kept something in the comment. Wait for some time. I will remove the comment so that you will understand. This is a React application. Whatever the application it may be, that may be React application, that may be Java.NET application, and whatever it could be, but the concept JSON is common for everybody. Yes, let me keep this out. Actually, this step form I have to enable actually. Let me enable this step form. Right now you can see, I think, the beauty. You will understand. It will take some time initially because it has to load the server, right? Okay, now you can see the step forms are loading. This is the step one. If I click the next button, if I click the next button, if I click the next button, if I click the next, this is all dynamically generated forms, guys. Here, I don't know how many fields I have to display here. These fields, what is the text box, radio button, or checkbox? I don't know what is the field I need to display here. All the settings will come from this JSON. If JSON says you have to display text box, I have to display text box. So this is the dynamically generated form fields, guys, completely. You can see credit card form and all this information which is going to be done by using JSON completely. I don't know what is the field I have to display here, what is the title I have to display here. Everything will come from the JSON. We will collect the JSON data and we will display the data like this. It's all about the donation amounts. I don't know what is the amounts we have to display there. What is the recurring option? I don't know to display there. So it's sometimes I may get only 2 values only, sometimes I may get 10 values also. It's all about the JSON. What are the values we have in a JSON? Those values we have to display there. Right now you can see the first I will tell you this recurring option, right? You can see where is the recurring option in the snippets. You have to go in the snippet. The first section is the recurring option. Can you see? This is the div. What is the title we are having? Recurring option. The same title I have to display here. Whatever the title you are able to see, the same title I am displaying the recurring option. So recurrings, if you can see the recurrings, you can see 1 month, right? One time only, 2 weeks, month, 2 months, something you are able to see here, right? These are the options we are going to use here. It's all about the JSON guys here completely. The JSON iteration guys. You will understand simply if you know how to iterate the JSON data. Seriously, guys, if you know how to iterate the JSON data, the things will becomes very easy for you. Okay, don't worry. In the next session, I will send a request to some third-party URL. For example, now I want to get the COVID-19 information, guys, here from the COVID API. From the have something COVID API. From this COVID API, I want to send a request to COVID API. Those people needs to send the data to me in a JSON format, definitely. If the data is in JSON format, how can we collect it? Okay, now right now you can see this is a JSON format summary. Yeah, I have JSON API URL, endpoint URL. If you can write this URL here, now you can see you are going to get the complete JSON format. This JSON format. This is all about the API. Now JSON stack viewer. Now I'm going to paste here. Let us click on the view. Can you see the JSON? Is the countries? Okay, let me click on the countries. Can you see? I'm getting almost all 192 countries are around. So this is first country, Afghanistan, and the totally confirmed and total deaths as of now 2021 11:03 today morning at 2:25 today. This is the update for your information. Today's morning 2:25 update. Now you can go and check this. Now I'm going to get Argentina, right? So AR and totally confirmed cases, total deaths, and up to today's morning. I mean, this will give you, this API will give you updated information on the code, all in the JSON format. I will show you how can we access this JSON format, right? How can we send a request to this API endpoint URL? This is the API endpoint URL. By using this URL, programmatically, we have to fetch the data. After fetching the data, I want to display the data in a tabular format, HTML table. I want to display the data in a HTML table format, right? So we have the data. We displayed something like a form earlier. That is that the data will do like that. This I want to display in a tabular format. Let us see how we can display this data in a tabular format in the next session. I will tell you this in the next session, guys. I think the only 2 points you need to remember: how to convert the data, right? These two questions, guys, that's all. If you can understand about these two questions, I think it will be very, very clear for you. How to work with complex JSON, I will explain you in the next part. How to work with the complex JSON in the next session, don't worry about it. Okay, now, so that it will be going to be very clear for you, right? Okay. So this is the thing, guys. Here in the next session, I will start Ajax. Okay, Ajax will take 3 to 4 sessions, guys, simply, right? So I think we need to, first session we have to explain what is Ajax exactly, and to work with Ajax, what are the steps we need to do, and all. We will check this. Okay, now, right? So any questions you have?